for runway 48.
Good afternoon, friends, followers, channel members. Welcome to our afternoon Thursday stream back in Amsterdam. Then we're off to Milan, but Linate Airport. Do you know what? It was a tough choice today. They Easyjet fly from Amsterdam to Linate, Malpensa, and the other one, whose name I forgot, the much smaller one in Milan. So we had a choice of 3 today. We've gone for Linate because we've got some great custom scenery for that. So yeah, looking forward to a nice flight over the Alps. Fingers crossed we'll actually make it as well. It's been an awful week, hasn't it? So we're going to see how we get on. Matt, how could I resist Prague again? I've seen the last of Prague for a while, Matt, so I could resist Prague quite easily, to be honest with you. We're just streaming on YouTube as well today. We're not on Twitch, just while we still iron out some wrinkles in the system, and hopefully things will continue to work well. If that's the case, we'll get back up on Twitch soon as well. Right, operational flight plan is in the chat. If you guys want to go ahead and grab that, we'll go ahead, get on board and get set up. Our aircraft is in the turnaround state, so we'll need to get the APU on as well in a minute. I've just realised I am incredibly hungry, so I sneak off for a snack mid-cruise, you know why. Looking through the operational flight plan then, if anyone's gone ahead and already checked that weather-wise, there's the potential for some thunderstorms down in Milan today, so we're going to take a little bit more fuel than required. An extra half ton I think should do us quite nice. So we're going to take 6 tons of fuel, so let's go ahead and tell the ground crew they can crack on with that. There we go. We've also got... do you know what? I'm actually going to take a little bit more because there's a potential for turbulence and ice up to 39,000 feet as well, if anyone's seen the segment chart. So let's take 6.2 tons of fuel with us today. So we'll go ahead and get that loaded. That's going to take about 3 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get the APU on. Do you know what? I'm just going to turn these off as well while we do everything we can to try and get those frame rates. Thunderstorms and no weather radar. I know, HD, what you're going to do. Even the fly-by-wire stable build now no longer has weather radar, so all systems for terrain and weather are now completely inop in all of the fly-by-wire systems. So there we go. Nothing we can do now if we want to fly this advanced version of the A320. 1, 2, 3. Let's get that started up. Right, so just going through the preliminary cockpit checklist. Our weather radar is of course enough. Cockpit lights are fine. Ecam recall is okay. Pressure page looks good. Speed brake is disarmed and retracted. This should be a silent checklist, but that wouldn't make good streaming, would it? Parking brake is set. Accu brake pressure is not in the green at the moment. That's because we haven't had any luggage loaded. But if we open up the cargo door, that should go ahead and hopefully sort that issue out. Other than that, I think everything else we're good to go. Currently squawking 2000 and standing by. So let's go through then and set up our box. We'll just see, is that APU up and running? Indeed it is, so APU bleed can come on. Right, so let's set up the box. IRS, we've got 3 nav green. And what's the status of the nav page? We've got LEAP engines, valid AirX cycle. I couldn't remember when the AirX cycle expired. I didn't think I thought we were in date, and there's confirmation that we are. So let's do our ACARS init request. The alternate today then, let me bring up the flight plan. What is the alternate today? Lima India Mike Fox. Oh, let's try again, shall we? Lima India Mike Fox. There we go. Nice call sign. Alpine 17 Mike Delta. Cost index of 4. Flight level 390 and -54. Tropo is 32344. I'm happy to leave that. That's close enough for jazz, isn't it? Alright, so the flight plan. Oh, it's the long taxi today. They're using runway 36 left, so it's a long taxi out. 36 left on the Rendi 2 Zulu. Oh, gone past it. Rendi 2 Zulu. The 2 Victor is actually slightly shorter. Insert. And at the other end, just check with no discontinuities. No, at the other end, what do we have? We have runway 36 Zulu. And that is via the Sierra Romeo November 2 November. There we go. And what's the VIA for for that, grab the charts and have a quick look. Sorop, I believe it is. Is it Sorop? Or is it Dixa? It's Dixa. Just check as well. Yeah, Dixa. And the transition on that's the have we got a transition there? It's not Adina, is it? No, we're not doing the Adina one, so no transition. Insert. I'm going to go through and check this all anyway. Let me just minimize that so you can see a little clearer. We'll check the departure then. We've got what have we got? So we have AM13 for the 2 Zulu, Sierra Papa Yankee, and then down to Papa Alpha Mike, Ivlut, Linux, and Rennie, then to Edupo. After that, let's have a look at the arrival, which begins at Odina. Which then takes us to Sierra Romeo November, Undap, Mike Lima 608, Dixa, Sorop, and then on the final inbound course. A distance of 555 miles. What's the flight plan got as a 554? Excellent. Right, so all that's good. Radnav page then. We'll pop in our Sarah Papa Lima. And we can also pop in the Papa Alpha Mike. You know the taxi is going to take much longer than the actual setting up here. Init B page. Let's not forget the passengers as well, shall we? APU bleed has been running long enough, so let's welcome the passengers on board.
Cabin crew refueling is underway and the bags are starting to get loaded, so let's open the doors and allow our passengers on board. Thank you.
No problem.
Right, so our zero fuel weight today is 60, and we've got a headwind of 1. The winds are so light at the moment, aren't they, over Europe? Or certainly so I've seen for the last few days. Fuel planning 47, and we're taking 6.2. That gives us a takeoff weight then of 66, and fuel for the alternate is 1.4, which gives us an extra 19 minutes of flying time, hold time, etc. Alright, onto the performance page then. Let's bring up SimSmart.
And the Super Traffic KLM 135 is on final runway 27.
Departing 36 left, grab the latest METAR, QNH is 1022. We've got no ATC here today, so we're on our own. Anti-ice will be off. Takeoff weight is 66. CFG will be forward, flex, config 1, off, and we can take Victor 3, which is a slightly easier taxi. Length then is 3247. Let's calculate those. There we go. So 145, 145, and 146. Thrust reduction acceleration is 988, so yeah, 990, 990. Engine out, also 988, 990. Maximum takeoff weight, we're below that, of course. And the engine out procedure is standard, 1500 feet. It's a left turn Sugol. Inbound is 114. Let's pop that in to our fixes page in case we need it. Someone has an open mic on Unicom. There we go. So the box, I think, is all set up. Time for a brief then. So weather here in Amsterdam is quite typical. Nice and lovely. 17 degrees, balmy temperature. No issues getting back here visibility-wise, anything like that. Let's face it, there's a whole host of runways here in Schiphol. Plenty of taxiways too, but we'll not land on those. The aircraft is the experimental version. 2 in-op systems, no terrain radar, no weather radar, potential of thunderstorms coming down into Milan as well. So that's that could be rather interesting on an approach. We'll see how the simulator copes with that. No NOTAMs to be aware of for our departure. Threats to be aware of: long taxi, no ATC, other aircraft. But other than that, minimum safe altitude is at 1,700 feet. Let's talk about the actual taxi then. So we are parked at stand Hotel 1. I think, HDL confirmed this, I think what would normally happen is they would push you back into gate Golf 71. I'm not going to faff around like that here in the sim, particularly as we don't have toolbar pushback installed at the moment. So I'm just going to push straight back and facing northeast. We'll then taxi out and we'll take Alpha 19 left, then onto Bravo, from Bravo to Charlie, Whiskey 5 Victor, and then continuing up the right hand side here to Victor 3 for our takeoff. On the departure then, we're on the Rendi to Zulu today. No speed restrictions. Initial climb out is 6,000 feet.
British Airways 2763, landing up, runway 4.
Engine out procedures is standard, as we've already said. So standard Airbus emergency brief, but engine out procedure is standard here. Left-hand turn at or passing 1,500 feet to Sugol, and we should have that on our fixes page showing. If we just zoom out a little bit, there it is. Lovely. So last few passengers left to get in their seat. Let's just pop that back in arc mode and 20 miles. And I think we're almost about ready to go.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
That's great, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. My name is Gavin and I would like to welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft. We expect a good flight with you today with no weather problems showing in front of us, so we should be pushing back within the next few minutes or so. For now, the ground crew have now finished loading the last of the baggage into the aircraft, so if you can get yourself seated and secured, then we can make sure we can depart on time. The cabin crew will shortly be providing their safety demonstration video, so it would be appreciated if you could give them your full attention. A special welcome on board to our Easyjet Sim Pilot members, and if you wish to inquire about becoming a member, please contact a member of the cabin crew. All our Easyjet Sim Pilot members are of course entitled to free drinks throughout the flight. Thanks very much, and we'll give you an update once we are airborne.
Okay, so before start checklist, cockpit preparation is complete. Our signs are on and auto. It is 3.5 green. Fuel quantity is 6,200 kilograms. Balanced. FNGS is set. Altimeter is 1022, and that's 0 feet. Final check that we've got no ATC around. We don't, so we are on our own. A quick look outside to see if we've got anyone in our vicinity. I don't want to run them over. No, all looks okay there. Completely on our own. Let's get back in inside. Single engine taxi out HD. We could do. It's going to be less than 3. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go on then. We'll not start engine 2 straight away. Let's see if I can remember how to do that correctly. It's been a long while since we did that. So, do we actually have a tug? We don't have a tug, but we'll have a virtual tug for our taxi out today. Nozzle steering is disconnected. Let's contact everybody else on VATSIM. Amsterdam traffic, Alpine 17 Mike Delta, pushing back from stand Hotel 1 onto Alpha 19. Beacon lights on, notable steering is disconnected, acupressure's in the green, transponder set. Before start checklist below the line, windows and doors closed and armed, beacon light is on, phones on silent, parking brake is on. Okay, release the parking brakes and back we go.
7 going around 187.
Right, so now because I'm not using the toolbar pushback, I need to keep an eye on the push ourselves. But anyway, so engine mode selected to start and starting engine 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
Okay, so engine number 1 stabilised. I could have done the single engine taxi, and just to confirm that, what I would have done, and HC can then tell me if I've remembered correctly, we would turn on the we would turn on the yellow electric pump, which is up here. Leave the APU running as well. Not turn that off, otherwise we have to faff around getting the other engine started. And we need to make sure that engine number 2 would have been running 3 minutes prior to setting takeoff thrust. Anyway, let's start engine number 2. Probably a lot easier to do on a dual man crew rather than a single guy in the flight simulator. Hopefully you can all hear the wonderful sounds as well of the fly-by-wire that Boris, the fly-by-wire sound guy, has been working on. Whilst I am sat here, I have just noticed that for some reason Toga is in the performance page. Why have we not entered our flex? The flex was 69, wasn't it? There we go. So now engine number 2 is available. Let us do the after start flows. So mode to normal, APU is coming off, APU bleed can come off, and arm the spoilers, rudder set to 0, and the trim. Okay, after start checklist. Anti-ice is off, ecom status is checked, pitch trim is 25.3 and rudder is 0. It is a nice long taxi, but even so we'll set a few things up. Flight control check, full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral rudder, full right rudder, full left, and neutral. Amsterdam traffic, Alpine 17 Mike Delta taxiing now to holding point Victor 3 for runway 36 left via Alpha 19 Bravo Charlie Whiskey 5 Victor. So the Amsterdam that you're seeing as well, same one that we landed at last night. It's the improvement available on flightsim.to to the Azobo handcrafted default airport. Really nice. Just ding that cabin crew as well up there, so that's done. So I'm not going to do any of the checklists or run any of those at the moment. I just want to concentrate on the taxi. We've got plenty of long straights that we can do that on. So here is Alpha. Check we've got nothing coming from the left. It is one way, so there shouldn't be anything coming from the right. But paranoia check. Okay, left now onto Bravo. And then we want to take, it's the first right, I think, at the end onto Charlie. Yeah, first right onto Charlie. So, pets check, no change to the performance. Engine out is standard. 1500 feet left turn to Sugol. Departure is the Rendi to Zulu, and initial climb out is 6,000. Now I believe that November 5 is this first turn just here for runway 09, so it's not the next right, it's the right after that. And hopefully the frame rates will improve ever so slightly as we move away from the main terminal area of Amsterdam. Okay, so we'll just slow ourselves down a little bit, no traffic, and onto taxiway Charlie. And here then we want to take the next left, which will be Whiskey 5. Once we've done that, we'll cross the runway and run the final checklist. Critic Varma, hi mate, how you doing? Is the issue fixed now? Well, we're keeping the GPU load as low down as possible, so we're running around 64%, something like that, 64, 65. Temperature as well is around 75 or below, which is obviously good. So I don't know if 36 Centre is an active runway, but we'll pop the strobes on in a moment just before we cross it. Amsterdam traffic, Alpine 17 Mike Delta, crossing runway 36 Centre at Whiskey 5. Not heard any calls on Unicom, so I'm presuming we're safe. HD, surprised I didn't go 36 Centre for the takeoff. Yeah, I could have done. I'm a sucker for the reality. It's what they were doing in the real world, so I thought, well, why not? Would have sped things up though. Okay, before takeoff checklist. Flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is confirmed. Flap setting config 1. FMA takeoff data 145 blue, 146 magenta, climb nav blue, 152, 6000 blue, and a flex of 69. Transponder set Eco memo takeoff no blue, EFB stowed. Marco, we're landing at your home airport, Milan Linate. I've never been to the other one. We're going to have to try that one out, aren't we? There's no scenery available for it, so it would just be default, but there we go. Jens, we were just early with choosing the runway. It was only done about an hour ago, to be fair. So, it doesn't really matter, does it? It just means you get to listen to me waffle on for longer. It's a very unsturdy taxiway, this, though. So as I said, we're going to carry on straight here on Victor, past the de-icing pads on our left, and hold at Victor 3. Lawson, it's not uncommon for you to accelerate whilst your engines are idle. In fact, it's true to life, to be honest. It's exactly what happens. William, mate, how you doing? Welcome back to the First Officers Club. Thank you so much for your support, William. Good to have you back on board. Really do appreciate all the channel supporters. Jonathan, I believe that actually is a bridge over the roadway. Yes, quite right. Anthony, how I check the real-world runways in use, it's very obvious, of course, if there's no terrain around and it's just one runway to choose from. But if there's multiple runways in use, I just use Flight Radar 24. Mike, you haven't been in the sim for a while yourself, but watch the stream from last night. VNAV's doing a much better job. It is. They really are cracking on with that. Von McLean, hi mate, how you doing? So, winds from the left on takeoff. William, you've been missing in action for a while. No problem, mate. Good to have you back. Right, approach path is clear. Amsterdam traffic, Alpine 17 Mike Delta, lining up for departure, runway 36, Rendy 2 Zulu departure. Jonathan says it looks like I'm taking a drive through the Dutch countryside. That pretty much is what this runway is all about. I'm guessing it was probably built to handle more traffic. Also, it's nowhere near the main airport, so I don't know. Maybe it's better for noise abatement, residents living nearby. It's out the way. I'm just guessing. I don't actually know why they built it so far away. But there you go. Lovely, long, wide runway, this one, though. There we go. Beautiful. All lined up. Let's get ready to go, shall we? So, before takeoff checklist, below the line. Cabin is secured. Engine mode selector is normal. TCAS, TARA, packs off. Anti-ice off. Let's go. So, takeoff. Start the chrono. 50% M1. Set takeoff thrust. Man flex SRS. Feel that wind now as we're getting faster and faster. A little bit more rudder checked. Not a very even runway, this one, is it? V1, rotate. Nav.
Positive ring 1, gear up.
Lovely, nice straight out departure. We will get autopilot 1 engaged now. Set climb thrust. Thrust climb. Climb. Accelerating up to S speed, then we'll get the aircraft all
Amsterdam traffic.
cleaned up.
Phoenix 666 landing up runway 24 for the Randy to Sierra departure.
Passing S speed. Config 0. Spoilers disarmed. Screens are a bit dark, aren't they? Let's turn those up. Okay, no air traffic control, so let's set something sensible. Flight level 200. There we go. 200 blue. Jonathan, I did get the views sorted, so we should now have lovely custom and wing views all loaded back in. Ecam screens are also a little bit dark. Let's get those cranked up. No need to wait till we're at 10,000 feet to get the landing lights off. It's all done. Flight time today is around 1 hour 23 minutes, something like that. It's passing 7,000 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Even though I've turned down the graphics, I still think they look absolutely fantastic, toned down a little bit. We may have to do a new update video for the settings following some of the latest updates. Ryan E, good afternoon. How are you doing? Tish K Gaming, how do I switch the cameras and adjust the views? I have custom views all set up. There's a video on the channel explaining about those, and you can also go ahead and download them as well, install them into your simulator. It takes about 30 seconds. It's really is nice and easy. Flight level 390 is fine. Let's go ahead and select that. 390 blue. Clear the red nav page out. And also the fixes page. It's going going to be interesting coming into Linate as well over the Alps. Some terrain to think about. William, I'm well, thank you. Although, I just said a bit ago, I'm insanely hungry. I don't know where that's come from. Probably I haven't had dinner, but I'm feeling it extra. I might have to use a cliche and go and get a bag of peanuts.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
So HD says set flight level 350 and see if the step climb OPT value works. Okay, HD, talk us through that, because that's something that's recently been released. So tell us what it is we need to enter the McDo. Give us step-by-step instructions, and we shall see if that works. Let me go ahead and set flight level 350 on the FCU, and I'll just wait for those instructions. And yes, I do mean dinner. We have breakfast, dinner, and tea. I don't mean lunch, although we do have brunch, so I'm not quite sure how that works. Jens, did you know Schiphol used to be a lake? Translated, it means ship hole. Oh wow, got to be very careful reading that out. Ship hole. HC says just set for level 350 in the FCU. Do we not have to program anything in the box? Oh, we'll look at it once we get to Fleet 3.5. Okay, fair enough. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I mean, look how sharp and clear those textures look, even with the graphics turned down. Quite happy with that. Those of you running with a better GPU, of course, will probably get even better. HD, sorry, I've just got confused. So we've got the FCU set to flight level 350. Do you need me to go in and amend the cruise to 350 here, or are we going to leave it at 39? Bremen radar is online. I don't know if we cross through their airspace. Guess we'll find out in a little while. Critic, do you set the throttle to flex or slowly increase it? So when I'm taking off, you will set it to 50% N1. As you can see, just show my little fives there. Set it for 50%, and then once you're happy that those are stabilized, then you can just increase thrust to flex in a swift manner. Don't do it slowly, but don't just race it up there. You'll knock it out the detent anyway in Gotoga if you're not careful. I'm just keeping an eye on some of the background chat messages. Let's get rid of SimSmart, we don't need that anymore. Malik says, what am I using for the ground textures to look like that? Is it a mod or just Sim Update? No, it's just Sim Update 9. I don't do anything to the ground textures. It is completely default. Absolutely default. Don't do a thing. The clouds, though, I've still got those on Ultra. Ali says, can you go straight to Toga after 50% M1? You can if you're planning a Toga takeoff. Yes, of course. It's either straight after the engines are stabilised at 50%. It's straight to Toga or flex, whichever you've planned for. Here's a little Friday night quiz question though. If you have planned to do a flex takeoff and then you're on the runway and, I don't know, you forget and go to toga, is that okay? Will everything work out well? Or will there be some alarms blaring at you? So it did say on the SIGMET charts today that there was going to be there's the chance for occasional icing and turbulence for a lot of our flight today. Slats, Mohammed asks, what do the slats do? They're just they just make the wing bigger, increase the surface area of the wing so you get more lift. Slats are at the front of the wing, flaps are at the back. HD, what was the question? The question was a fairly straightforward one. If you've planned a flex takeoff, and then when you're on the runway you do something daft and just go straight to toga, bypassing the flex detent, will all work out well, or will alarms be blaring and things like that? Basically, if you do a toga takeoff by mistake, even though you've put flex in the performance page, will you be okay? Air Gandhi departed Manchester this morning on 23 left, and SimSmart constantly tells me you can use that runway. Why wouldn't it tell you you can use that runway? Do you mean SimSmart or do you mean SimBrief? SimSmart, you choose the runway. SimBrief, it picks it for you automatically, but it's always worth questioning it just in case. Dr. Magic, hello mate. Just popping in to say hi. You're on a long training course today. Ugh. What you need is a little Bluetooth headset, and just pop us in the background. Air Gandhi, it tells you can't use 2-3 left. Really? Is that right? I think we need to check that. Oh, HD flipping the question round. What happens if you're playing toga and you go to flex then? Well, do you know what? I'm not actually sure of the answer to that, but logic dictates it would give you maximum continuous thrust, which for the first 5 minutes of flight would be toga anyway. Jay, how did I get that flight pad? It looks different and in a good way. So, a lot of people say this, and it's a very simple setting. Go to the settings page, go to flight pad, and you know, it's daylight, so I can put it to light. There we go. Quite like that for this. Alimish, no, but HD is. We're just missing the background chatter, aren't we, of lots of ATC transmissions. Ali, if your flypad looks different to mine and you don't have the light theme, you may not have the latest version of the experimental version of the FlyByWire mod installed. So HD, you will get a reminder. Where's that flash up? Is that the primary flight display in the eCam page? I'm gonna guess it's... I've never done it, so you know, that's good news, right? Without trawling through the Ofcom. Does it flash up on the FMAs? Fair enough. See, even you're not sure. Set toga or something like that. It's not something you've done, presumably. Which is a good thing. So, let's see if we can resolve Air Gandhi's issue while we climb out. So, Air Gandhi, it tells you can't use runway 23 left on SimSmart. Let's have a look. Make up a takeoff weight of 70 tons. There's nothing wrong with that. All looks perfectly fine to me. Even has correct thrust reduction, acceleration, engine out acceleration, and engine out procedures. So yeah, that all looks well and good. Ali, if you're using the development version, yeah, that's why. Christian, good afternoon, Christian, mate. Don't mind me, just lurking. It's like HD2. Right, well, we're slowly coming up on flight level 350. Here it comes. So we'll see then what happens after that. Crazy dude, how long's the flight? Oh, 1 hour 23 minutes in total, I think. There we go, Mac Alt Star. There it is. So we've got just over an hour to go. Not too long. And we're going to have to think about our approach in as well to navigate the terrain. Jay, have I noticed any bugs in the experimental version of the A32NX? Not really. No. My office is starting to heat up now, that's for sure. Jonathan, do we get an in-flight meal in this one? Yeah, if you pay for it. Carl, can I do a video at some point on how to calculate zero fuel weight centre of gravity? You don't need to calculate that. So at the moment the sim does that for you, but you're not bothered about the zero fuel weight centre of gravity. You only need to know your takeoff centre of gravity. Right, so here we go, HD. Let's re-enter 350 in the prog page, force it into alt cruise on the FMAs. Okay. Just confirm alt cruise. There we go. So that's done.
Traffic.
Where? TCAS blue. I can see the contrail. There he is.
Traffic.
We'll ignore the traffic for the moment, but let's sort this out now. If we go to the performance page, we need to get higher HD because of this traffic. I'm flying in his wake at the minute. When HD says he thinks, it's great because you can imagine him sat there racking his brains thinking, how do I do this? No, not that one. Flight plan page. There we go. Are you going to pick a waypoint in the future and enter 39? Right line, select a waypoint. Okay, so let's go with Ritsu then. Yep. Step alt. Marco, Easyjet did have some 737s right at the start of their the business. Evold Vanderman, hello my friend, it's been a while. Thanks for coming back on board. Optional step out, enter alt only. Opt, Oscar Papa Tango, and are we just popping that in the top left line side key? Marco, any chance I'm going to take the 737 PM DG out for a spin when it releases? Not sure yet, Marco. My problem is I am very, very low on spare time, and it's just another aircraft that I'd have to try and learn and get to grips with, and I really am. I squeeze these streams in as best I can. Right, well that didn't do anything. OPT didn't do anything there. Check I did that right again. Nope. So would we have to put the waypoint and the altitude and let the aircraft do it by itself? Doesn't work. Alright, never mind. Let's get up to cruise, shall we? There we go. Thrust climb, open climb, 390 blue. Didal, you can't watch the whole flight, but you wanted to just ask, do I have a disconnection? It's disturbing after the last update. So do you mean where it says that the simulators, you've been disconnected basically from the internet, you can't, you've lost connectivity? Yeah, I've had that quite a few times. For anyone that's watched the channel this week will know.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Jay, I do use AIG traffic VATSIM, that's right. HD says if you're planning to step climb on a long flight, you can enter the climb and waypoint to insert a reminder to climb when you get there. I don't think anyone dare do long flights in Microsoft Flight Simulator at the moment. That's interesting as well. You want to make sure though you can actually climb to the new flight level on the prog page. Sometimes the optimal will still be well below the planned step climb. Ryan, what are the food options? I've been waiting quite a while. No idea. Dreamliner, where is my Phoenix? I don't know. Ask the devs. Asking me for. Clouds definitely look a lot better, don't they, since sim update number 9. That's one thing it certainly does have going for it. So that traffic that we had ahead of us is now almost directly beneath us. Can we see him? We can see his contrail. There he is. Anyone got that on VATSIM or anything like that? Know what it is? Can't zoom in so far. It's twin engined, whatever it is. What are we guessing? Wide body? Anthony, will I fly the Phoenix? Oh, you bet I will. I absolutely will fly the Phoenix when that's released. JJ says pity the NAD database no longer works. I've not heard anybody else have an issue with that, JJ, so something might be screwed at your end. Blizzard Extreme, I'm very well myself, thank you. Welcome on board the flight today. Right, 500 feet to go, then we're at cruise. So we've got Frankfurt just ahead of us. I'm just having a look. We'll send off some weathers in a minute. HD, the guy in front of us is going to the same destination. Oh, never, is he? Race ya. It's only virtual fuel. Kevin, I am still running medium. I have increased a couple, ever so slightly. I think if we can start to do a few streams and everything's working well, I'm going to perhaps have to do another video. There we go. Alt cruise.
service which will begin shortly. A reminder that Easyjet Simple Island channel members are able to access free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of the flight.
I don't think the descent speeds are working just yet. Then again, I can't remember the last time we actually tried it, so not sure. Right, well, we should be on the ground at 15:31, which is what, just under an hour or so. So I need to go and have a look and see how we're going to plan this arrival. We'll go and check some en route weathers as well, see what's available to us. So we'll have a look at Zurich en route, which is Lima Sierra Zulu Hotel. And let's also take a quick gander at Munich. There we go. Didal, yeah, as I answered the question earlier, I too have also been getting those, sadly. Steve Severus, would it be a good idea to put the pushback tool back into the community folder and see if the problem happens again so you can rule it out? I will definitely be doing that at some point. Yes, yeah. Simon, is the Easyjet Golf Zulu Golf Sierra on the dash part of the delivery or something, or was it custom made? It's been custom made, and I've forgotten who made that. I don't know if it was Christian or Dark Fury. One of the very kind channel members did that for us. Right, let's see what the weather's doing. So, Munich, wide open with very few knots of wind. Linate, we've currently got light rain. Recent showers of rain as well. 1019, QNH scattered 3,000 feet, visibility down to 7,000. That's okay. The alternate does have much nicer weather, to be fair. And Zurich, again, nice and open for us. Let's have a look at the descent page for you. There it is, HD, so we can pre-select it. I think we've tried it in the past. It hasn't worked, has it? So I'm now just going to go and grab the charts and see how we're going to plan this arrival. One thing that we can do as well, of course we're going to be passing over the Alps, so let's go ahead and pop DGAD in there. And the appropriate radials 225 and 090. And now we know where our there's our danger line. If anything goes wrong prior to that line, we turn around and go back. If anything goes wrong after the line, we'll continue. HD, yeah, no, the managed field should be blue, and both Mach and knots. So you could overwrite it, say, yeah, for example, Mach 79, 290 knots. This would then be the managed speed target. I love doing flights during the day in Microsoft Flight Simulator. frustrating as the simulator can be at times. When it works, it is indeed a thing of beauty. How has everybody else been getting on with Sim Update 9? Like me, I've been pulling my hair out for the past 3 or 4 days. I think that it has become slightly harder to get a good performance out of it. I've had to lower my specs. HD, you'd be in descent anyway prior to the line, so it might just be easier to adopt a drift down procedure at green dot and coast over the top of the hills. Yeah, I mean, we're not actually flying sort of like along it, are we? We're actually at the final, almost the final leg at the peak. So I guess it would depend on how far out from that something had gone wrong and make the decision. But it's great to have it on the navigation display, so you've got good situational awareness on that. So while you guys are just enjoying these views, I'm just having a quick look. I'm planning the descent, and then we'll do some we'll do a brief for what we need to do. I love the way the sun's reflecting off the river down there. It's quite neat. Can I explain what I just did to add those lines? So all I did was I went to the fixers page, which if I just get back in the flight deck, I can have a look and show you. Easy to show you with the mouse. So if you go to the flight plan and press the top left line side key left one, the fix info page, and there I added a waypoint called DGAD and then put the radial 225090, and that then draws the waypoint on there and the radial outbound from those. It's there's a video on the channel explaining about the fixers page and how you can do that. So Ali says that Sim Update 9 has actually fixed things for him. That's good. Was you've had no issues that you can definitely attribute to the update, but the pushback tool issues where the aircraft icon disappears unable to create a pushback. Yeah, a few people say the pushback tool has got some issues. That's true. Carl, you've noticed less turbulence over the mountains. It used to be quite a lot. Indeed it did. I guess we'll see. We'll be descending over them shortly, so that'll be interesting. Jens asks, is there a special rule for choosing that continue or return waypoint, or is it just in the middle? It's based on minimum safe altitude, and it's just an approximate. In fact, I think HD has just answered that above, really. It's sort of an approximate line where the highest minimum safe altitude is along those radials. So just looking at the arrival, we don't actually have any constraints on this. The Italians let you decide. Well, obviously, in real life you've got ATC, haven't you? So we can see the cloud layer is actually getting higher and higher, which is exactly what the SIGMET chart did say, because there was a chance of icing and turbulence, so we'll see what that's like. So we're going to be landing runway 36 today on the Sierra Romeo November 2 November arrival, or the Serrano 2 November arrival. And if you're just wondering what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just going through the charts so I can give us a briefing. But the weather at the moment still calling for Cat 1. Fuel check. Good shout. "20 miles from Nator." How much extra did we take? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We took about 900 kilograms extra. So should be around 3.8 tons of fuel. Oh, we're at 3.9 with a bit to go, so that works out as planned. Right. Well, let's do our arrival brief then, shall we? If we're all standing by. Slipknots, do I only fly Easyjet routes? Okay, well, mostly yes, but we go on tour occasionally, and we also fly some routes that may not be specifically Easyjet. Well, these clouds getting higher and higher. Okay, so we will be coming in today, and we're on the coming in on the Serrano 2 November arrival. Funnily enough, I've just seen that waypoint DGAD. We're actually flying over it today. So I've got us down to, as you can see, there are no constraints, but there are minimums. So we're going to head down to flight level 100 at Serrano. And we've also got that hard-coded in to help us with our top of descent. From there then, we're just going to follow profile down. Lowest we can get down to is 5,000 feet. That's fine. We've got 5,000 feet coded in then at Dixer. I've also got a speed of 200 knots in there as well, just so the aircraft's aware that we will be slowing down. From Dixer then, we're basically on the ILS. And then from there, we can continue down to 3,000 feet, capture the glide, and be on the localizer. How we're going to configure the aircraft, so when we get to heading towards the Mike Lima 608, so on the downwind basically, we'll get down to green dot, flaps 1 as we continue to Dixer. By then we should be able to get flaps 2 out, perhaps be a little bit underneath the glide slope, and hopefully meet that then as we continue down the localizer. As we land, we will roll to the end of the runway, vacate at Golf, and then from Golf, just check we've got to turn left one way here. And then from there, we can go and park at the terminal. 3405. NYC Sim Pilot, I'm on Streamlabs. Now, lots of information here on this chart, as you can see. So transition altitude is 6,000 feet, platform altitude is 3,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude as we are coming in is 10,100 feet and 4,200 within 15 miles of the Linate VOR. I think we've actually got that in the RadNav page. Yep, we do. Might even be worth actually adding that on to the fixers page. So Linate, and we'll just put a 15-mile ring around that. There we go. Missed approach is 3,000 feet. Proceed on runway heading, climb to 3,000 feet, and at 2.5 miles after Linate, or 4 miles ILS DME, at 1,000 feet, at 1,000 feet or above, we make a right turn to intercept the 103 radio from Linate to Tukos, and hold. And if I zoom in, we should have all of that information displayed for us. There it is. So if we come in, take off, turn back round, and hold at Tukos. So lovely. We're all done, and our top of descent is in about 6-7 minutes, something like that. That's my top of descent. Ah, there it is. We're about 40 miles away from the top of descent. I'm going to do a quick weather check. Get that into the perf page, and then I'm going to nip and use the aircraft facilities before we land. Too much blackcurrant. Or it may have been tea. So, wind 030 at 4, so there's going to be a slight tailwind with the landing as well. Visibility has dropped again, 6,000. Still Cat 1. It's raining. QNH is 1019. Temperature 14. Let's try entering that again, shall we? 030 at 4. Transition altitude 6,000 feet. And Cat 1 is 537 decision altitude. There we go. Right. I'm going to get to the loo and back in around 20 miles or less. Back with you shortly. Oh my word, that was eerily realistic. I went out into the cabin and I could just hear kids screaming. Back in the comfort of the flight deck. Hey J-Hog, I'm well. We briefed them up just a tiny little bit. But not too much. Hello Alps. Pumpkin Tree, what's happening with the Phoenix A320? You haven't heard anything from them in a while. They are very busy. That's as much as I can say, really. They're very busy. It is well on course to be an absolutely amazing aircraft. Can't wait for that to be released, so we can stream that. Planes and Trains with Elliot. I'm well, thank you. Welcome on board. Alright, top of descent is about here.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our arrival. If you could please make sure that all the aisles are clear, the cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any luggage in the aisles, that would be most appreciated. A reminder for our Easyjet pilot members that
Okay, so we're going to head down. Initially, I'm going to set flight level 130, and that's just for this sector here. But we're aiming for flight level 100 at Serrano. So, flight level 130, down we go. Thrust idle, descent, and 130 blue. Ali, MHA is the minimum hold altitude, which is 6,000 feet. Be interesting to see how much we can see or can't see, as the case may be. That just looks stunning, doesn't it? That really is cloudy and murky, which I guess is not the best. You don't want terrain hidden in clouds. Far from it.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an Easyjet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Lots of clouds. Deal with that. What do I think about the A330 from Aerosoft for Microsoft Flight Simulator? I think that's a great move. Love the 330. It's basically just a big A320, isn't it? So transitioning from one to the other should be almost seamless. Nice to know, and hey, so all the issues I was having, how's everything today? Fingers crossed. Pumpkin Tree, what scenery are we using for Milan? I think, is it MK Studios? Might be. Virtual Pilot, you've got low visibility in Malpensa. Yeah, it's been briefed. Currently raining, wasn't it? In the real world, that is. Bora, what is my favourite airline? I really don't have one. Which may surprise some of you, but I don't. The cheapest. Although it is nice to fly with a bit of luxury every now and then. Having said that, I can't even remember the last time I flew. The last time I went abroad, oh, I bet it was about 4 or 5 years ago. Then the children arrived. Then COVID arrived. Virtually as much cheaper. Agnes, do I use Rex weather? No, this is all default. Here we go. IMC. That weather radar will come in really handy about now. J-Hog, mate, I need 6 seats. Unless I'm planning on leaving one of the kids at home. It is a shame that the weather's so cack, because the views coming over here would be lovely. Jens, when there are clouds at cruise, you have to turn on the anti-ice only if it's warmer than 40 degrees SAT. Minus 40 degrees, sorry. If it's below minus 40, then no. See, when there's a thick cloud layer like this, that's when your GPU really does get a workout. Jayhawk, not bad for an uncle for getting one kid. Well, fair point. What a sense of foreboding this is. When are we going to pop out of those clouds? When are we going to see the ground again? This music sounds rather dramatic. Oh, Jayhawk, she's got COVID. Oh, I hope she's okay. I'll drop her a message later. Bora, can I rate the simulator? When it works, 10 out of 10. When it doesn't, still 7 out of 10. Yeah, HD will will pop out at minimums. I hope not. What is the minimums? 537. Do you know what? I'm just going to send off for another update and have a look. See if anything's changed. Punkle, thank you for the sub. Right, what have we got? Is it still the same meta as before? Yeah. Rain, visibility 6,000 kilometers, scattered 3,000 feet. I mean, that's fine. Deal with that. I don't have track IR, so I'm afraid I can't comment on that. Oh, look at that. Just... that's stunning, isn't it? Oh, yes. I mean, if you had a genuine fear of flying and you were just in a thick cloud layer like this, and then occasionally there's a small break in the clouds and you see the ground getting closer and closer and mountainous, you can be forgiven for perhaps thinking, oh, this is why I'm scared of flying. And I love that rain effect that we get on the windows. Let's get back in and monitor our descent, shall we? Bora, I'm using the TCA Airbus side stick from Thrustmaster. Well, we're 7 miles. I'm not quite sure why this particular waypoint is missing, to be honest with you. Probably because we're on the star that begins here. So we've actually just flown Adina to Sorrento rather than the Adina to Romeo arrival. But basically when we're 7 miles we can then start to, I can change the FCU to get us down to flight level 100. Jumbo, is the chat still on the screen? Oh, no one told me. Sorry guys, let's get rid of that, shall we? If I leave that on, please do tell me. We only have it on right at the very starts of streams. Okay, approach checklist. So our arrival is briefed, seatbelt signs are on, minimums 537, engine mode selected normal, EFB is stowed.
The captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are traveling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the instant seatbelt harness provided. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
To be honest, our profile here looks very good. This is incredible. This is the first time we've had really thick clouds since sim update number 9, isn't it? Actually, this may be only our second successful flight since sim update number 9, so that's not saying very much. I wish, though, that Azoba would fix the difference in brightness between the cloud layers. When you're in cloud, suddenly all the screens become insanely bright. Linate traffic, Alpine 17 Mike Delta, passing flight level 1404130, descending now on the Serrano to November arrival, currently 14 miles from the Sierra Romeo November. So we're going to level off just momentarily till we get to 7 miles out from Serrano, and then we'll continue that descent down. I mean, technically, we're not on that. We're not on that star. So, minimum safe altitude is 10,100 feet. I'm quite happy to continue the descent now because we're going to still remain above MSA. So, thrust idle descent, flight level 100 blue. Let's continue down. We're now inside the 25-mile radius of Linate's VOR, and so yeah, you can see we're safe. Barry, quite right too. No Alps in sight, sadly. But isn't it nice to have realistic weather? In fact, there's very little in sight. Rain. Rain is in sight. Matt Warren, I have to agree with you. VNAV, as long as you've got good information in the box, VNAV is indeed very, very good. So I'm now going to continue our descent all the way down to 5,000 feet. I'll leave it in managed for the moment, so we need to also set the local QNH 1019er. And I'm going to pull speed as well, set 250 knots, because then I can activate the approach phase. So that's done. Blinding displays. Okay, so we're now passing 10,000 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may have noticed that we have just begun our final descent into our destination. If you could now assist the cabin crew by tidying up your tray table and handing them any litter as they come around, that would be most appreciated. For safety reasons, we ask now that you please turn off all electronic devices or switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use. If you wish to become a Easyjet sim pilot,
Malpinse traffic Phoenix 666 is anti-tank, passing flight level 150 on the Enroute 3 Echo, arrival 4th runway 35 left.
Oh, nice to hear a Phoenix aircraft being tested. So a few people have been saying, why won't the aircraft descend? Why won't the aircraft descend? Is it broken? Well, it's not. It's keeping us on profile. We're 30 miles away from where I wanted to be, down at 5,000 feet, or flight level 50. Oh no, it will be 5,000 feet. Not quite sure why it's giving it as a flight level. So until we get probably about 15 miles away, then it will start to go down, because I think it just wants to keep us on that profile. I don't know if HD is going to come in and also suggest why that might be. I mean, reality would kick in here. You'd pull it out of managed descent, presumably HD, and you get it in open descent and get yourself down nice and controlled. And India Lima November Tango is identified. In that case, HT, if that's wrong, let's get it in open descent. There we go. Thrust idle, open descent, down we go. I meant to message you about that the other day when it first happened, because I suddenly thought, well, if you're being told by ATC to get down, you're not just going to suddenly level off, are you? Anyway, on our way down now, thrust idle, open descent. No chance of seeing the airport. Andrea Marco, it's self-loading cargo that I'm using. Von McLean, yeah, you're right. I'm putting a bit too much faith in managed descent mode at the moment. Not to be lazy, but just to see. So, yeah, HT, we already identified that when that popped up. You were probably scrutinising the FMAs at the time. I can hear the rain hitting the cockpit window at the minute. I wish that weather radar was working. Okay, we're going to start slowing down, so let's pop it into manage speed. See the glide slope coming up to meters as we head down. Wayne, did we get any decent view of the Alps before the weather closed in? Nah. None. Chris, God is the creator of all things. Jesus died and came back to life 3 days later. Sounds a bit like my simulator.
Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Okay, so now making that base turn. Once we've passed Dixer, we can get below 5,000 feet. And really, we already know we're below the glide slope, so we don't want to descend. Well, descending around 500 feet per minute will hopefully bring us in nicely in line with that glide slope without having to level off too much. Alt star. What glorious weather. Can we get a look at the wing view in this horrendous weather? Well, just quickly. You're not going to see very much, if anything at all, actually. Right, lock blue. And star brings us in nicely onto the localizer anyway, so we should start to capture that in a moment. There we go, lock star. Can you guys hear the rain? That's the first time I've heard it quite so bad. 22 miles out, I'm not going to start configuring too much. Don't want to slow down this far out. However, we can now start to get down to about 200 knots, so flaps 1, speed's checked. Flaps 1. We could technically leave our aircraft at 5,000 feet. That rain's getting heavier. And if we pop it in VS mode, speed 300 feet per minute, down we go. Now we can start to reduce speed. And then we can get flaps 2 out, ready for that glide slope in a moment. There is a max speed restriction actually at Sorup, and I have just seen maximum speed is 200 knots. So they want you quite slow, quite far out. We're coming into Sorup just now. We'll pull flaps 2, speeds checked. Flaps 2. And that glide slope's now not far away. Do you want to start placing your bets then, guys, on when we're going to break out of the clouds? 3,000 feet was reported in the METAR. Linate traffic, Alpine 17 Mike Delta, established runway 3614 miles. All glide slope blue, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2. Just beat HD there. I was wondering how long is it going to leave it. Glide slope star, missed approach altitude 3,000 feet, set. Loving that rain sound. "10 miles out. We're going to start reducing speed to 160 knots. We need to be 160 knots maximum by 7 miles. So we can wind that down now. Anti-ice probably isn't needed anymore. They're not cumulonimbus clouds reported, and it's about 13 degrees where we are, so we can get rid of that. Okay, 6.5 miles out, we're into managed speed. Radio altimeter is alive. Gear down. See if we can see that runway. Linate traffic, Alpine 17 Mike Delta, runway 36, 5 mile final. Flaps 3. Icy ground, flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin is secured, auto thrust speed, go around altitude. 3,000 feet set, eco memo, landing, no blue.
1000.
Not turning that autopilot off just yet. What's the MSA? Not MSA, sorry. The decision altitude 537. Oh, we've got lights. Easy. Now all we have to do is land it. Autopilot off, I have control. Slight wind from the right.
500.
Approach stable. Let's get that nose up a little bit and arrest that rate of descent. Just
400.
dropped beneath a little bit, not too much.
300. 100 above. 200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Spoilers deployed. Reverse green. Rolling out to the end of the runway, remember. "70 knots, reverses off." What weather?
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you
Linate
today.
traffic Alpine
Our
17
ground
right down
crew
to
will help you
the
complete
vacated
your
runway
EasyJet
36.
journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or EasyJet app.
Right, we'll get ourselves taxied into the gate. Just clean our aircraft up. I prefer to do this whilst stationary because otherwise I have a tendency to end up rolling off the taxiway. There we go. So guys, welcome to Milan, Linate Airport. Sorry I couldn't give you better weather. If you have enjoyed the flight today, please do leave a like. I'm not around again. I'm away this weekend. So this is our last live stream of the week, I'm afraid. Pesky work thing gets in the way, doesn't it? Alan Clark, thank you so much for subscribing. We'll go where we've got some people to welcome us, shall we? Jonathan, I'm spending the week virtually in Milan. I'd have chosen somewhere with better weather then if that was the case. I love Linate Airport. Look how bright and colourful it is. There we go, parking brake set. APU running, yep. Let's get the bleed on, shut down engine 1. 2, seatbelt signs can come off as well. Beacon light off. And fuel pumps off too. Jetway can be connected, and Squawk 2000, pop that into standby. Jetway's on its way, and I think we've got luggage waiting for us. Indeed we do. Let's get the GPU connected up as well. Done. Welcome to Milan, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed the flight today.
701 ramp 14 pushing.
And yeah, as I said, that's our last stream for this week, as I am now virtually in Milan for the weekend. I wish I was. That would be lovely. Oh, great approach in the foreboding weather as it came down. So that was really nice and neat to see. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed that. Big thanks to those of you who have contributed towards the upkeep of the channel. To HD, as always, for his knowledge and advice, and to Easyjet SimPilot channel members, as always, thank you for your continued support, helping me keep the channel running. I'll look forward to seeing you all on the next live stream. Hope you all have a great weekend, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's relaxing, working, or flight simming. Enjoy your weekend in Milan, guys. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, the captain, the first officer, and the crew, I'd like to thank you once again for choosing to fly with Easyjet today. If you would like to become a member of the Easyjet SimPilot channel, please ask a member of the cabin crew, or simply click the red join button to find out about all the extra perks that are available when becoming a channel member. We wish you a safe and pleasant journey from the airport, and we hope you have a great day to come. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you on the next flight. Bye-bye.